Good evening, everybody. My name is Jake, and I'll be your host for the next 10 minutes. The goal is in the next 10 minutes to get you really familiar with 6 strong tips that you need to know in order to have a successful home selling experience. Notice I said successful. A lot of people are trying to sell their homes, but they're not successful. We're going to be successful because we're going to follow these 6 tips that we're going to go through tonight. Any questions for me? My email address, phone number is directly below. So if something pops in your head tonight after the webinar and you want to ask me a question, feel free to throw it in there and we'll get back to you right away, 24/7. So let's dive in. Our first tip in order to have a successful home selling experience is we need to take off our homeowner hat and put on our home seller hat. So what you need to do is depersonalize your home. We've all been there. We've walked through a home, maybe even an open house. And what do? We spend less time talking about the actual house and more time actually talking about, did you see that crazy picture on the wall? Well, we want our buyers, our potential buyers, to be focused on the house itself. So we need to depersonalize and take those photos off the wall. We need to, little things, like when you walk into a bathroom, think about it when you look at a catalog and you're like, who lives like that? There's nothing on the countertops. That's what you want someone to think when they walk through your house, because then they have the space in their imagination to start moving into that house. So little things like getting your toothbrushes and still wet soap off the countertop, to looking through your closets and literally taking half of the stuff out of your closet and put it into storage. Not only does it, of course, make the closet look bigger, but again, it gives the buyer some room for their imagination to run wild and start moving into your house. Staging your home is part of this as well. So you may have always used your home in a certain way, but maybe actually bring in a third party, a home stager, someone that does this professionally, to come in and give you maybe a different look. Maybe by subtly rearranging the furniture, they could actually open up the space and make it feel even larger. Or maybe it has a better flow or better layout, which might be important to that buyer. So bring in someone to talk about home staging, but don't be confused by that. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go out and buy furniture for staging purposes. It might just mean actually rearranging what you've already got or removing some of those items. Tip number 2. No longer is the first impression when someone drives up to your home and gets ready to open the door. The first impression of your home is actually online. So with today's world, you want to make sure that you have amazing photos, maybe some video, that is out there actually doing the first showing of the home to those potential buyers. They're sitting on their couches right now. There's millions of people around this country, around the world right now, shopping for property from their couch. So those are the first showings that are going on as we speak. So you need to make sure that your home is properly photographed with professional equipment and edited to make sure that it shows all the pieces of the home and parts of the home that you want and none that you don't, to make sure that you make that awesome first impression. Tip number 3. This may seem really obvious. In a lot of communities now around the country, there's an online scheduling system. So real estate agents who are interested in showing your property to their potential buyers can just go online and request an appointment. Typically, it'll text message, email, and or call you to confirm those appointments. You want to make sure that when you're getting ready to sell your home that you are serious about it, and serious in terms of actually confirming those appointments 99.9% of the time. If you're having an event in the home, obviously, you wouldn't confirm an appointment for that time. But if you're ever catching yourself kind of hemming and hawing like, oh, I'd like to sleep a half hour later, well, that might just be the one buyer who's in from out of town and has a whole day of 9 hours of showings, and that's the only time they're actually going to be able to see your home, and they're going to make a decision that day. So if you can, always lean towards the yes and just say yes and make it work. Try to accommodate. A lot of buyers lose patience, and a lot of them are just frankly under pressure to make a decision. And if they don't see your home at the time they request, they may never come back. Tip number 4. It's important that you become an economist in this situation. The first showing will often be a result of the fact that you've priced the home correctly. Buyers are very savvy nowadays, and they're actually, because of technology, it's leveled the playing field in terms of the information that's available to them. So they know what your neighbor's home sold for. They know what you paid for it. They know what's trending in the neighborhood. So by, first of all, understanding pricing and making sure that you're pricing it appropriately based on market conditions, you will assure yourself that you'll bring buyers into the home. As we're going through this webinar right now, throughout the country, we're finding there's on average less than 6 months of inventory in every market. That means it is a seller's market. So it's virtually impossible to underprice a home because the market conditions will push buyers into your home if it's priced that way, and it'll raise the price to where the market price should be when the home sells. So you need to understand where your specific neighborhood, where your specific community is in relative to inventory accumulation, because essentially that's the amount of competition you either have or you don't have. Once you understand that, you can back into the appropriate price to take your home to market. There's no one out there that can predict the market value of your home. By definition, the market will determine the market value of your home once you've put it up for sale. Your best guess is what you're taking to market. And as you're speaking to real estate agents, you should be interviewing them and discussing what their typical market price is to sold price. It's a very important metric. But in terms of what you need to remember as a homeowner, the go-to market price is so important because buyers, if they determine that you've overpriced the home, might have already jumped to the conclusion in their minds that you're an unreasonable seller and they will not bring you an offer just based on that fact. So if you want to actually receive multiple offers, typically you want to focus on understanding the inventory, what your competition is, and underpricing slightly by that from a couple percent. And you should, in a healthy market like we have today, receive multiple offers and potentially even get higher than what you were thinking about taking the home to market in the first place. Tip number 5. Everything you should be doing throughout the home sale process should be tracked. And a quality, top-notch real estate agent should be providing you nothing but data and no emotion. So that data should come in the form of how many showings did we have, what was the feedback on all of them, and how are we doing relative to our competition. An active real estate agent who knows how to use your technology should be able to compare and contrast your home to the other homes around it. They should be able to see, okay, my next door neighbor or homes in my neighborhood are seeing 3 to 4 showings a week. I've only been averaging 1. So what's the issue? And then we can go through and try to triage and figure out what the missing variable is. In addition to that, your agent should be able to report back to you how many eyeballs they're driving to see your home online. Because remember, those are your first showings. So not only are we tracking the active showings, but we're tracking the potentials. So if an agent reported back to you that you had 1,000 views on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com in the past week, but 0 people have reached out to request more information, what might that tell you? They might have told us that potentially we've overpriced the home, potentially our photos aren't doing a great job of telling a compelling story about why someone should come view the home, and people are just kind of backing off and looking at us as either unrealistic or unappealing. So you want to use that information to compare against your competition. If homes in your neighborhood are typically entering the market and going off it within 90 days, wonderful. If you're now on the market for 180, what changed? So let's go to number 6. And tip number 6, this is where it all comes together. Of course, now you've gone through, you understand how to stage your home, you understand the importance of pricing, all those good things. Now you need someone to help you actually understand how to bring it all together, who already has the systems built to take your home to market and successfully get it sold. We found that a lot of agents come in thinking that they just deserve the job of representing you. Our perspective is that it should be thought of as a privilege to represent you, and people should be interviewing for that right to represent you and help you with getting your home sold and getting you onto wherever you're going next. So with that said, we think you should treat it as an interview process just like you were hiring someone for your business. So what we do is put together a list of questions we believe you should be asking potential agents that are coming in to represent you, such that you can make sure you're not hiring just the next agent that walks through your door, but actually the right agent to help you with the job of getting your home sold. So if you pop over to phillyliving.com/sellmyhome, you'll be able to download that free questionnaire that you can use to actually interview potential home agents who will help you sell your home. We would love to be considered for the job of selling your home as well. And again, our information is right here below. So any questions or comments or concerns you had about the webinar, feel free to reach out day or night. We'll get back to you right away. And then hop over, of course, to the website, phillyliving.com/sellmyhome, and you can download the full presentation from tonight and also the questionnaire that you can use to interview your future agent. So best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you out there. Have a great night.